All right, hello. Welcome to the Hold My Helmet Football Podcast. I'm your host, Will Reichling.
I'm your co-host, Dylan Boyle.
Well, Dylan, another week of just me being wrong and you being right about everything. You could have your laugh now, but I promise you, it'll happen to you, and when it happens to you, you'll know how it feels. I've got, we'll get into it later, but basically I went 6-8 this week. Dylan went 10-4, so Dylan had a big week. I had my first under 500 week, and We'll just get right into it. We'll get to that later. Let's get into our game breakdowns. And I'd like to start with the Sunday Night Football game. Dallas Cowboys at the San Francisco 49ers, and this was a bloodbath.
Ooh, dude, I called it. What did I say before? I said this might be a blowout. And, the Cowboys were not showing any sort of glimpse of coming back or...
Well, in the playoff,
it was very bizarre because
it was bizarre because in the playoff game, it was a very close game to the end last season, and so I thought it was going to be another close game. But the Niners controlled the game from start to finish. Dallas' defense did not look elite. They got torched. I mean, they are a really good defense, but they didn't look like it that game.
What went wrong here?
What went wrong is that the San Francisco 49ers are just a better overall team. And I'd like to be honest, is Brock Purdy better than Dak Prescott?
Oh, I think by miles.
Right now, you have to say he is. I mean, he makes all the right decisions. He can move better than Dak because Dak's had some injuries. He's accurate. And Brock Purdy just looks like he has command of this offense completely. I know they have a lot of good players, but at some point, you got to give the quarterback credit. His passer rating's been out of this world since he started his career.
He's been undefeated since he started a full game. He's been undefeated.
Yeah, started and finished. And
yes, the same thing with Christian McCaffrey. Yeah. Since he's been on the team, they haven't lost a game.
So I think it's time to ask: is Brock Purdy better than Dak Prescott? Because Brock Purdy's done nothing but shown to us that he's a legitimate quarterback. And I don't know about top 10. He might be 11 or 12 for me, but I have him over Dak now.
I do have him over Dak as well.
Because
Dak did not look. I've said this before. He just did not play well when he's behind or when his back's against the wall.
And we have to be honest with ourselves. Like, he was a mobile quarterback that could, not a running quarterback, but he could move out of the pocket and make plays running, throwing. He doesn't really move anymore after the injuries, and he was never a great pocket passer to begin with. So now he's starting to make dumb decisions too on top of that, so now he's turnover prone. So what does that leave you with? That leaves you with a mid to subpar quarterback.
And Tony Pollard's good, but he can't carry this team.
And he hasn't been carrying the team.
No, not at all.
Dak is 17-28 against playoff teams in his career. 17-28. So the Cowboys fold when it matters most. They've done nothing but prove that to me. I mean,
that's exactly what I've seen from this team. Any sort of pressure that you apply to this team, and they crumble.
So it's fair to ask: are they a Super Bowl team? I mean, I know we hopped on that very early.
We did jump on that but we didn't see them against a really good team.
Yeah, exactly. Now looking back on it, they went against the Giants. They went against the Jets. They destroyed the Patriots, and they lost to the Cardinals, but that still isn't a great team. So this was their first real challenge, and they were not up for the task.
No, not at all.
And the Niners showed that they can be a legitimate Super Bowl team, especially with how Brock Purdy's playing. He's close to a top 10 quarterback right now. His passer rating, I think, for his career, as of right now, is the best in NFL history. I mean, I know it's a small sample size, but he's done nothing but shown to you that he can make plays, Brock Purdy, and he had himself a day.
This is a team that I'm not surprised that they're undefeated, and I don't know how much longer they're gonna go undefeated for. I think they might have a perfect season.
I was gonna ask that question. This is a legitimate question. Can they have a perfect season? Because look at their schedule. I mean, you have some tough games there, but who? Tell me their weakness. Tell me their weakness.
They really don't have one.
Exactly. So
when Christian McCaffrey doesn't go off, Kittle goes off. Kittle had himself 3 touchdowns.
Exactly. Maybe they're secondary, I guess, but even then, I don't
can keep up with it with the offense, even if they do let up a little bit.
And that D line is scary. So it's just, I was watching, and I felt like I was watching when in the Met Gala when you have all the stars on stage and coming on the red carpet. That's how it felt. Like the 49ers have all the stars, and
I couldn't tell you one play where it just they didn't look good at all. But
exactly.
They're just a team that you look at it and you're like, wow, what can you really you can't even pick anything out with you saying they could do better here, do better
and
here.
Any player at any moment can have himself a day. All of a sudden, it was Kittle out of nowhere. It could be Debo. It could be Ayuk. It could be McCaffrey. Most of the time, it's McCaffrey.
Ayuk, man, I saw this stat. Every reception that he had this season was either for a first down or a touchdown.
Right, so he's making huge catches, important catches for them, and he's shown that he could be a number one. I mean, I still consider Debo number one, but Debo's more of a hybrid. So really, Ayuk would be be the number one. But all signs pointing up for the Niners and the Cowboys. Now we don't really know what they are. So
I think we do this a lot. We jump the gun a lot after one game. We tend to be a little, game to game biased. So let's because we were very high on the Cowboys.
I think they're still a good team.
Yeah, let's give them the week. Let's not jump the gun. Let's not get all the Cowboy fans wild up
like we usually do. So
right.
I agree with that. We should take a step back and just.
He had himself listen. There were some bad throws there. I think there was a throw that was to a defender that looked like he meant to pass to the defender.
Yeah, but
he underthrew his.
But I will say the defense wasn't helping them. They were kind of getting torched. So we'll move on from that. I think we need to give Dallas some time. Okay, Ravens at Steelers. We were both wrong on this.
This is an interesting game.
It was, and why it was so interesting because I think this offense, the Steeler offense, sucks. But this defense keeps winning them games.
But could a defense win you games? And it shows here.
They did.
Won them the game.
And Kenny Pickett made the one throw he had to make to Pickens, and that basically sealed the game for them. Now, Lamar and the Ravens started off strong, and they kind of fell off as the game went on, especially in the second half. They didn't do much. I still think Lamar played okay. He made a terrible interception in the end zone.
So I think his receivers really sold on him on this game. I was looking back at the highlights.
The drops.
The drops were ridiculous. I think there was 7 to 8 passes that
Two
were
in the end zone, yeah.
Yeah, so I can't blame that one on Lamar at all.
I can't.
Lamar did his job. He did what he had to do. But his receivers were not up for the task. And we were talking about this before, how we feel about Odell Beckham.
I think he's done, man. I don't see him getting
so much money.
I don't see him getting any separation anymore, which is scary because he was built on separation and quickness.
He's coming off an injury, which was
two injuries. ACL.
Was it an ankle injury? This
ACL.
Time?
Yes. Oh no, you're right. I don't know what his. I forgot.
Think it was like an ankle injury. It had to be something.
I think you're right. I think it was an ankle. I think it was.
He's not up to speed. He's not doing He's not the Odell Beckham we've seen and
been so accustomed to. And it's really the Steelers. I think right now they're leading the division, and it's I don't see them winning this division. Their offense is not good enough.
Well,
9 times out of 10, the Ravens win this game.
Yes.
This is the one chance that the Steelers had, and they took opportunity, and they won the game somehow. And
listen,
I'm shocked.
I wouldn't doubt them. I wouldn't count them out either, because they do have a lot of talent on offense. They just can't. They're just having a problem getting things going. We've seen it some weeks where they have gone and going. I think we just need to give them some time as well. Their defense has got them out of a lot of games.
Outstanding job.
Outstanding. I don't know.
Special teams too.
We got to put them at maybe top 5. Maybe we were talking about the Browns being one of the best defenses, same division, and they got manhandled by the Titans.
Yeah, they did.
But the Steelers, on the other hand, they keep it very close with their defense alone.
And the thing that scares me here, I was very high on Kenny Pickett after last season, but I just don't know if he's any good. I think he's already reached his ceiling. But I will say this about Kenny Pickett. He's been very good at end of games and crucial moments in the fourth quarter. He did it last season. That's what
you want to see in your quarterback.
It is, and he did it last season. He's done it this season. He's made big throws when he's had to. He has made big plays for long yardage at key times. I will give him that, but he struggles for most of the game, and maybe that's we were saying Matt Canada, the offensive coordinator. Maybe they can't develop just a running game. Najee Harris looks washed to me.
He does look washed, but who's the other back they have?
Jalen Warden looks way quicker, and he actually gave him kind of a burst.
I think we were talking about this before. I think they need to use them better, more as in, Najee Harris is, they just use them more, They started to use Warren a little more because Warren's providing that spark and that burst that Harris just isn't really providing much, but. I think 9 times out of 10 the Ravens win this game. I think the Steelers just got a couple circumstances going their way, and Kenny Pickett made the one throw when he had to. I think the Ravens are still a good team. So we just need to see more from the Steelers offense, honestly.
Yeah,
and then they could be a really good team.
They could. It's the offense. They have the stars on defense. So Dylan, Bears at Commanders. I was wrong. You were right. I picked Commanders, and
interesting.
They got killed. I think this was the DJ Moore show. This is the DJ Moore show.
So last week we were, saying that Justin Fields wasn't the guy, but he proved us all wrong.
Well, here's the thing: should we overreact after 1 week?
The Commanders doesn't have a bad defense, so that's what kind of
shocks me too. They have a good D line, but their secondary's been. But I don't know. It's been one game, and most of his targets were to DJ Moore. He only completed passes to 3 receivers: DJ Moore, Cole Kmet, and another tight end. That's it. So
that's. But I did see. I saw a lot of stuff that I liked from him.
He made a great touchdown throw.
Running the ball.
He made a great. Remember that fade, that touchdown throw to Moore?
Absolutely.
He did. Look, he looked great.
He
looked
has
great
those
this
spontaneous moments.
He looked great this game, but a lot of it was DJ Moore yak. But I told you have to get in the ball more. What did they do? They got DJ Moore the ball more. I don't know what to make of the Commanders though, because they're up and down, up and down. One week they're good, then they're not good. I think it's just growing pains with Sam Howell. I'm going to sum up as that. I think they're too inconsistent. Maybe, I had them maybe pegged a little higher than what reality is. They're going to be competitive, but I don't know if they're going to be a playoff team. They could be. They got to tighten things up. They make too many mistakes.
I mean, this was in a 1-touchdown game. It was 40-20.
Yeah, so
so they were really taking control of this game.
The Bears did, and their defense played well too, which they haven't been doing much of. So it just showed the Commanders hit kind of a plateau. We'll see moving forward, and we got to see more of this from Justin Fields. He's got to do it on a regular basis. I think now DJ Moore, to me, he could be a top 10 receiver after it's all said and done. He's one of the, other than Deebo Samuel, who's kind of a hybrid. I think DJ Moore is one of the best receivers after the catch. When he has the ball in his hands, he's always breaking tackles, Dylan. I think he's special.
Yeah.
And I know I might throw that word around a lot, but I think DJ Moore is special.
So I think we could honestly, because we were talking about it before in the preseason, DeAndre Hopkins being in top 10, I think we could pluck him out and throw DJ Moore in.
DJ Moore has jumped a lot of hoops after these last couple of games because he's just shown to me that he's great with the ball in his hands. Mm-hmm. So Jaguars at Bills. Again, Dylan, you were right. I was wrong. Who would have saw this coming? Other than you. I don't think I've seen anyone pick the Jaguars over the Bills, but you did, and the Jaguars controlled this game, and I think a lot of that had to do with because they were in London 2 weeks in a row. 2 weeks in a row. So they stayed there. It's kind of like a home game for them, but it wasn't. It's still like out of your element and stuff. But the Bills got there. I think they left on Friday and got there on Friday or something like that. Yeah, but it was a 5-hour flight, which is the same as going West Coast. So I don't want to hear that it was like this crazy flight. It was like the same amount of time as it would be to go to like LA or something. Yeah. So. It was like a road game. I understand. The Bills just kind of do this when they meet kind of their mass. They struggle a little bit. Like I told you, they have a knockout punch. They either blow a team out or they get like technique to death. So this game they got technical. The Jaguars, kind of punched him in the mouth with the front seven. We didn't see a lot. James Cook, what did he have, negative rushing yards on the day? Something like that.
Negative 4 yards.
Yeah, so, they weren't able to run the ball effectively. And, Bill struggled. They started picking up in the second half, specifically the fourth quarter, but it was too little, too late.
Too little, too late is right. The Jaguars did their thing. It was only a matter of time, just like the Bengals. It was only a matter of time before they started coming around and doing their thing.
Trevor Lawrence was slinging it.
He was. Evan Ingram was doing his thing.
Yeah, and,
Calvin Ridley.
Yeah, Ridley.
Had himself a game.
Yeah, ETN.
Everyone
ETN
did what they had to do, and that's what they needed ultimately to beat the Bills, and they did. It was, it's not like they blew them out. It was by 5 points, so they did what they had to, and they pulled off this win.
And they have the pieces on offense. We talk about it every week, and now they're finally starting to put it together with Ridley, the insertion of Ridley now, and ETN had a stellar day. Yeah. So Jaguars looked like they're going to be just fine. So Bills, I also think is going to be just fine. They just had one of those games.
Absolutely.
They just blew, let's not forget they just blew out Miami. So Miami just blew out the Giants. We'll get into that one. Don't cry.
They didn't blow them out. Let's get that.
No, okay, it wasn't a blow up, but it felt like it because
they didn't do what they did to the Broncos. That's all that matters.
That's true. Good point. Okay, so Chiefs at Vikings, and we were both right on this. We got the Chiefs. Kelsey left the game with an ankle injury. Comes back in. Was it an ankle injury?
It was ankle.
Okay,
yes.
and he comes back in and scores a touchdown.
He did the same thing that Patrick Mahomes did. He tweaked his ankle.
Through his helmet. No, did he throw his helmet? He got mad, though. Yeah.
Dude, I don't know what's with... I didn't bring it up, but I don't know how many... I'm sorry to jump back, but I don't know how many times I saw Lamar Jackson throw his helmet on the ground.
Oh, yeah.
It must have been 6 times. He was frustrated.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to
frustrating day for the Ravens. But yeah.
And now everyone's doing it. Travis Kelce's doing it.
Kelsey was frustrated, but I know.
These are expensive helmets, guys.
It's funny. My girlfriend now, because the whole Taylor Swift thing got some kind of investment in this, and she asked me, I was telling her as it was happening, oh, babe, Travis Kelce came back and he scored a touchdown. And she was on TikTok not listening to me or something like that. 2 days later, she's like, oh, Travis Kelce, is he okay? I'm like, he came back in and scored a touchdown. I told you. Girls, man. Yeah, not all girls. Some of you know your stuff. My girlfriend, not so much. So
listen, guys, relax. Taylor Swift was not there this week.
I know. So the ticket sales were probably down because of that. So,
dude, it was crazy last week. The Jets and Chiefs game. They had more tickets sold than the Super Bowl.
Wait, what?
Yes, bro. I swear to God, it was the craziest thing. Just because Taylor Swift was there.
Is she performing the Super Bowl?
I mean, she has to now.
I think she's turned it down multiple years or something like that.
I don't think she's going to anymore.
But anyway, it's funny because this was actually somewhat of a close game, but the Chiefs had kind of this taken care of that we're talking about Taylor Swift now. But no, I think I'm not. Look.
It's a Taylor Swift.
The Chiefs have been playing a lot of close games this year. Some people could find concern for that.
I find concern in that.
See, now sure. I don't because they still blow up 27. Mahomes looks just fine to me. They seem to have this Golden State Warrior effect when they were in their dynasty, where they just cruise through the regular season and come playoff time they get serious. As long as Kelce and Chris Jones are there, they should be fine.
But that's the main problem. You pluck out Travis Kelce and you got a problem because what other receivers are you hitting?
Well, Travis Kelce is a vital part of this team. He's the second most important piece. You lose Travis Kelce, yeah, it's gonna be a big blow.
Very concerning, especially his age too, 33 years old. You gotta think, what are you doing after that?
Do you see them going to get a wide receiver in the trade by the trade deadline?
Who would they get?
I know, that's the point. Rashee Rice looked a little promising last week, but he's still like nothing special right now.
I'm still putting Kadarius Toney as my number one after Travis Kelce.
Yeah, as of right now, you have to, but kind of by process of elimination. He had a couple of good plays, yeah. But Justin Jefferson's going to be out long term now with the injury.
Wow.
So, the Vikings are going to be terrible at this point. They're already 1-4. Do you trade Kirk Cousins? Do you trade him? Because his contract's going to be up, and it seems like they're going to move off him after this year. So do you trade him?
There's teams that would be more than happy to take him on.
Oh, yeah, but how much would you give up? Because he's going to be a free agent after the year anyway. Would you want to give up a draft pick or wait till he's a free agent and pay him? You're going to have to pay him anyway if you want to keep him long term. So I wouldn't bite in that. I don't think they trade him. It just doesn't seem like feasible, and it doesn't seem realistic. So I don't want to hear Jets fans say trade for Kirk Cousins. It's not going to happen. I mean, I think
you guys want Kirk Cousins?
Would I want Kirk Cousins? Right now, if I had Kirk Cousins, yes, absolutely. But long term, it doesn't make sense because I guess if you moved on from him after the year because of the contract, but you have Rodgers and.
But then you guys got to deal with that.
Yeah, and then it just becomes weird and the Jets are kind of stuck with what they have right now. I wouldn't go out and get Kirk and waste draft picks, which you're gonna need. So
I mean, there's a lot of good quarterbacks in the draft coming up. I don't know if you guys want to roll the dice again.
Exactly. I'd rather go take one of those guys than an average Kirk Cousins, who's good, a top 12 quarterback. But we've seen he's limited. And he's had a great statistical year. If you look at his numbers, he's been great in all categories. But but then look at his record. And that's the whole point. He's a regular season kind of. He's not a big moment quarterback. And I hate to say that because I like him as a quarterback. I think, he's a top 12, 13 quarterback. But he's limited. So.
Well, I do want to kind of jump back. I do find it a little concerning that the Chiefs just stay in these games where they should easily be winning.
Yeah, they kind of play down to their opponents. They do. They do.
I want to see what they go against a really good team. What do they do against the 49ers?
That's true. They lost the Lions, but they didn't have Kelce or Chris Jones. So it was kind of those are their second and third most important players. So now looking back on that, I kind of get why they lost that. But yeah, they're gonna play. They're gonna have some tough teams coming up. I don't know if they play the Bengals or not, but I think the Bengals are on their slate. I could be wrong about that, but the Chiefs were one of the divisions, so they're gonna play a couple division winners. That's how the schedule works. So they're gonna have some tough games. So it will happen. And
I'm curious to see how those play out.
Me too. So Eagles at Rams, and Dylan, I was right, you were wrong, and the Eagles. The Rams were kind of in the game, though, and Cooper Kupp came back, and he did well, very well.
He did.
And with Puka Nacua, they have some weapons on their offense.
They are a nice duo. Yeah. I like them. Just as Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown, they have a good duo.
It's a perfect 1-2 combination because Cooper Kupp can get you a lot of yards after the catch, and Puka Nacua is a great possession guy, great hands, great route runner, so it works out perfectly.
And you take one of those out, and you have no problem. You still got Atwell in the backfield.
And Higbee, too.
Yeah, so you got plenty of options there.
Jalen Hurts has been playing a lot better. He was a beast in this game.
I feel like they've really ramped it up. I really like what I see from him. He was running the ball now. He was really out
effectively.
there.
Yes. And he made some great throws. He made one bad pick, but other than that, all his throws were great.
No, I was very. I liked what I saw from them this week. For sure.
And the Rams, I think...
And Swift, too. He was doing his thing.
Swift, man, yeah.
He's just one consistent player, man. He's a very consistent player on this team.
And behind that line, he's just shown that he's pretty elite behind that line. I think the Rams, they have a shot to be a playoff team. They look very promising. And now they have Cooper Kupp back, so we should keep an eye on the Rams moving forward because the Rams have been, I don't think they've gotten blown out yet, to be honest. They've been in every game. 49ers, they were in it. So
that's impressive itself.
Well, that's divisional, so how things get weird with divisions. But yeah, the Rams, we gotta keep an eye on them. They might make the playoffs, and the Eagles definitely deserve to be 5-0 right now. Bengals at Cardinals, and you were right, and I don't know why I chose the Cardinals. I just had a weird feeling.
No, I feel you.
I was wrong.
That could have gone. Well, listen, this is a game where the Cardinals stuck around the whole time. It wasn't until the end where it was a 34-20 game. But they were sticking around. It was close. It was like the end of the third quarter. It was 24-30. They were pushing down the field, and they almost had a touchdown. What happened? I think they went for it on fourth down, I think.
Yeah, Josh Dobbs. They ran with Josh Dobbs to the right, and he got stopped.
Yes. That was a 4th and 1. They should just ran that up the middle.
I think the momentum changed with that pick six, though. And I think that was Josh Dobbs' first interception of the season, so I'm not going to get too much on him for that. But it was a pivotal moment. That you just stop the Bengals on 4th down, and then you turn the ball over right away on pick six, and you get points, like as the Bengals. That was huge. But we have to be honest. Joe Burrow finally had a day. And speaking of a day, Jamar Chase, 7-11, always open, man.
7-11, always open.
3 touchdowns. I think he set a franchise record for receptions. I think it was 15, 16, something like that.
50-something fantasy points.
Yeah.
He had himself a day.
So the Bengals offense
was overdue for this.
Sure. So the Bengals offense finally woke up. So are we going to see this moving forward? Or is this too little, too late?
I hope so. I don't know if it's definitely not too little, too late.
Yeah, because they're 2-3.
They have been very disappointing, where it is a little concerning, and we should keep an eye out for them because I don't know if 1 week justifies it.
Well, this is going to be a good test because they're playing Seattle.
There you go.
And I think they have I'm pretty sure they play with the Niners after that, so they have a tough schedule coming up. So they need this win against Seattle.
This was the time they had to put it in full gear and get their stuff back together.
So I think Burrow actually looked nimble and quick, and it looked like his calf wasn't bothering him as much as previous games.
He was running
and
around.
He looked like a different player, so maybe it was the injury. They also start off slow a lot, and they need to negate that moving forward in the future seasons, but you got what you got right now, and what they have is a 2-3 team that still has a shot at making the playoffs. And their division, who trusts Pittsburgh? I don't. Baltimore looks up and down, even though I think they're still good. And the Browns have a good defense, but who trusts Deshaun Watson? So the Bengals could still easily win this division. It's not over for them. So other than that,
these divisional games, though, are going to be very important moving forward.
And let's be honest, the Cardinals, they're not out of the Caleb Williams sweepstakes just yet.
They're not, but
I still think they're not going to be the worst team.
They're just not a bad enough team where I could see them lose. They're just too talented.
I agree. And then you have
Hollywood Brown. We were both about to say it.
He's an underrated receiver, and I was telling you that off air. And then what happens when you get Kyler Murray back? He's not a terrible. I think he was a top 10 quarterback before all this went down. So they're going to win some games. So
listen, I think I don't know. I can't tell you. I don't know. I haven't looked at the weeks yet, but I feel like they're holding Kyler Murray back a little longer than they should. I think injury like that, he should be coming back by now.
Well, yeah, definitely soon. Definitely any week now, he should be healthy.
Be healthy.
Unless they're trying to tank for the season and just cut him off. But we've talked about this before.
Tanking isn't really an option at this point. It might be something a little further than that.
It looks like the Panthers are going to be worse than them. How the Panthers going to win a game? That scares me. But
what are they doing with Bryce Young? You got to give him another year or two. He still looks.
You do right. So
I haven't seen anything from Bryce Young that says he looks like a bad.
So you probably would trade that. So could the Cardinals be a potential one for that? Who knows?
Yeah, but you were saying before, it's like how you can't pass up on a quarterback like.
No, you can't. Even Williams. For someone like Bryce Young.
Maybe trade him. That would be a good trade.
Interesting to think about, but we'll let that simmer in for a little bit. The Cardinals still a long season to go, and they're competitive. They've been in every game, so they're definitely going to win a couple more games. So we'll see. Maybe they go on this crazy losing streak. We don't know. Anything could happen in the league. We see that every week. So let's move on. Saints at Patriots, and I don't know why we both thought the Patriots this is going to be a get right game for the Patriots. Because they got embarrassed by Dallas, so we thought they were going to come back and play with some heart, but they played with no heart. This team
was pathetic.
Is it Mac Jones or is it Bill Belichick, or do you just get rid of both at this point? I would keep Bill. I think you got to move on from Mac Jones. They might be in the Caleb Williams sweepstakes. They are terrible. They have no talent. And they lost their 2 best defensive players. Christian Gonzalez is out for the year, and Matt Judon's hurt now. So where's the players? Show me the players on that team that says they're going to win 7-8 games. I don't see it. I see a 3-4 win team. And it's the Saints, too. That you got embarrassed by the Saints. The Saints could be a 10-win team this year, but they're still average, and you got embarrassed by them like it was the Cowboys and the Niners. So I don't know who to blame here. I think the blame goes all around. I think just Belichick's had too much control for too long, and I think the only way this works with Bill Belichick still staying is to take away his GM powers. Just let him coach because he's had some terrible drafts. Drafting kickers, guards when you need receivers. It's just
they were historically bad in this game.
The last 2 games, but this game specifically.
Yeah. I think everyone's throwing this stat around. Mac Jones threw 4 pick-6 in his career, and Tom Brady has only thrown 4 pick-6s in his career.
And look at the timelines of the careers. One's way shorter than the other. Yeah. So, and I think he just, he doesn't have anyone in that locker room that has his back, kicking players in the what. He just, it's rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, and, so it's not looking good for Mac Jones right now. It's not. Listen, it's not looking good for Belichick
I'm a
either.
Concerned. Two games in a row.
Blown out. 2 games in a row. The Cowboys, I get, you get behind the defense. You get behind against the Cowboys, the defense might buckle in. That defense gets scary sometimes, even though they got exposed this week. They're still a good defense. The Saints, you got blown up by the Saints. Their offense is not scary.
Not 1 point scored.
Not 1 point. And how are you going to win when you don't score a point? So
I got benched twice by Bailey Zappi. So
2 weeks in a row. So
not saying Bailey Zappi looks any better, but
no, he's not the answer either. So relax, Patriot fans. But I feel for them right now. I don't because they had Brady for years, so now they get to taste what it's like as a Jets fan. But I don't wish this on any team. So I'm just concerned to see what's going to happen with Belichick now and what's going to happen with Mac Jones. I say they draft the quarterback. So we'll see what happens with that.
Where would he go at that point? Do you think a team would give him another chance?
Maybe as a backup. I don't think he has the upside where people will want to view him as a starter unless they had a win now team where they just need to plug in an average quarterback. Like the Jets, I guess. But their line is terrible. He would get killed. He's not mobile.
Right.
So moving on. Titans at Colts, and Anthony Richardson got hurt again. Is he injury prone? Is it too early to call that label? It was it
was a shoulder injury. It was an actual injury.
It wasn't concussion like last time
or something like that.
AC joint. Yeah.
AC joint. Before we even jump into it, Jonathan Taylor, we didn't mention this. Jonathan Taylor's first week back
didn't do much because Zach Moss had a day.
He got his contract that he was asking for.
That's what he did.
He got a 3-year contract for $42 million. So that's up to $14 million a year. I don't know where that puts him in the bracket, top 10 paid.
I think that's top 3. McCaffrey's at 16, so I think he would be in the top 3 there. $14 million a year.
I think you could take Nick Chubb out of there now.
I think he's number 2 actually. If it's $14 million a year, like you have here. But didn't do much this first game back. I was expected he's going to be a little rusty. Yes. Zach Moss has been great though.
I was going to mention, yeah. So was it even worth to give Jonathan Taylor?
I know. Contract? I was thinking the same thing. It was but this was one game, and Jonathan Taylor's an elite player. But
Zach Moss has been looking good this whole season.
I'm pretty sure Zach Moss also was a former first-round pick or second, so it's not like this guy was a scrub, but he has struggled until now. Now he's starting to finally shine. On the Bills, he struggled.
Because Jonathan Taylor's back.
Yeah.
He's I got to prove myself.
Yeah. Well, even in the last couple games, he's been good.
Yeah.
But on the Bills, he was kind of up and down. So
is it ironic though that as soon as he gets his contract, he's healthy? Well, that's what I was wondering. I'm was he not playing because he didn't get his contract?
Well, they put him on the PUP list. It wasn't his choice, so maybe they finally came to a resolution. I don't know how it worked out, but it was random to me. I wasn't expecting it.
It was very random.
But I will say their head coach for the Colts, Shane Steichen, that guy's a genius. He makes it work with Gardner Minshew. He's had creative plays for Anthony Richardson. That guy, like I said, that's the Eagles' offensive coordinator before. He made Jalen Hurts look great. And the guy looks like he knows offense. So I think the Colts are in good hands right now.
Yeah. I mean, Anthony Richardson went down, and Gardner Minshew went in and just continued.
They didn't skip a beat. That's exactly what I mean. So some of that has Gardner Minshew's a good quarterback, damn good quarterback. But some of that has to be coaching. And I think they have they're like I said, they're in the right hands. I think the Titans are in the right hands too with Mike Vrabel, but they're too up and down. Mm-hmm. One game they're good, then they're not good, then they're good, then they're not good.
I mean, Ryan Tannehill didn't look terrible this game.
No, he didn't, but they're not scoring enough points. What did they score? 16? Yeah, 23-16. So it's not going to get the job done in 2023. You know, and the Colts have some explosion on offense. So
I mean, I don't know if you mentioned it, but Derrick Henry, he did not look good at all either.
I
don't know what's going on with him. He had himself a season last year. But
you want to know why? Because teams, you know, it's going to happen as a running back gets older, especially when you're the main focal point of an offense. Teams are teeing off on Derrick Henry because they know the Titans' passing offense is a little subpar. They have Hopkins, but what else do they have? So, and now Henry's getting a little older, so he's getting worn out, and this isn't going to last forever, especially with a running back. So you should know this. That's why they drafted the guy Spears, who looks pretty quick. The backup looks pretty good, catching passes out of the backfield.
I was going to say, he did look a lot better this week. He was doing his thing. He had a touchdown.
You want to know what? He looked fresher legs. Like Derrick Henry looks like he's already starting to get a little worn out because he takes so much of a load, you know? So, So Jets at Broncos, and we're both right on this. Not much to get into here. The Broncos are just, they again started off great in the first half. Russell Wilson's moving around. I'm like, wow, he's looking like old Russ. What happens in the second half again? Nothing.
Falls apart.
A nothing burger. The Jets seem to struggle in the first quarter, and then lock down in the second half. So they make good adjustments, but this defense isn't elite when you're letting up, 21 points to Russell Wilson and the Broncos. You got to play better than that. Zach Wilson, he looked average. He made some plays when he had to. The clock management at the end of at halftime, that was terrible. Either throw it to the end zone or out of bounds.
15 seconds left.
Exactly.
What do you think you're doing? You're not calling a play and get into the line of scrimmage to spike the ball. It's not happening.
Exactly.
You gotta be more aware.
Either out of bounds or in the end zone. That's it. Nowhere else to go with that ball. But they still win. These are two kind of subpar teams. The Broncos look a lot worse than the Jets.
Listen, the first half was a little concerning for the Jets. The Broncos, they were looking good in the first half. They were making some big plays. Russell Wilson was doing his thing. But, I just don't know what happened at the end there. They just completely fell apart.
And it seems like a theme with the Broncos. Besides that one comeback week against the Bears, they've collapsed every other week in the second half. So the Broncos are just bad. And Sean Payton has to be blamed for this too. It's not on Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson actually looks better this season than last season. At some point, the defense has got to make plays.
We were talking about this before. They're really good at that script, at keeping the first half script. But
once defenses make adjustments, they struggle. Which is on coaching.
That is coaching.
And Sean Payton's an offensive mind. So what are you doing here?
But we were saying this before. If it's Sean Payton over Russell Wilson, they're going Sean Payton all the way.
Yeah, they are.
What's happening here?
And you can't
maybe have a different offensive coordinator come in and just have him be head coach.
Maybe I don't know, because you can't get rid of Russ. He's locked in with this contract. They got screwed and it hasn't even started till next year. That huge contract. So it was a terrible move. They signed him to a deal before he even played it down for them. Terrible decision. And now they're stuck with him.
Seattle continues to be
thrive.
Thrive.
And they're young. And who would have thought that? I thought the Broncos would win that trade, but it's been one of the worst trades in NFL history. So Texans at Falcons, and I just want to start with this. I know the Falcons won, but C.J. Stroud continues to impress me. He just looks so natural throwing the ball, and I just want to say he scored when he was a prospect coming into the draft. He scored 18 out of 100 on the Wonderlic test. Now, the Wonderlic test is sort of an IQ test used to measure players' aptitude for learning and problem solving. Basically, a test to see how you react and make quick decisions. Yes, and how do you process information. Just for example, in football, at the line of scrimmage, how you read the defense and boom, make a throw. He scored 18 out of 100, worst out of all quarterback prospects that year.
Wow.
So basically, long-term short, saying that he's not intelligent and not going to be able to read defenses or process information as a starting NFL quarterback. Boy, was this test wrong. It was wrong. If this is a test, if they are using this to grade NFL players, then they should stop, because he can process information very quickly. He always makes the right move, throws the right ball, makes the right play. He looks like the most polished quarterback in this draft class, and this test basically said that he wasn't. So pretty crazy.
Yeah, I don't know if I have to throw this stat out there, but he hasn't thrown a pick yet.
I think everyone knows that.
Everyone knows this now. Had
over
300 attempts, and he hasn't thrown a pick yet. That's impressive. And
Very impressive.
It's not a quarterback that he's just doing the check down. He's doing
down the field throws.
Throwing the ball.
Down the field.
Accurate.
He's very accurate. Like, he's like in that Tua Brock Purdy where, like, see the receiver, hit him in stride. Like, he's automatic with that.
And it's not like they have, like, A.J. Brown.
No.
Like,
they got Robert Woods. Now, Nico Collins looks promising. I will say that. But Robert Woods, I mean, Tank Dell also looks like a little shifty. So they got Schultz. Schultz is starting to put up numbers finally. But this is a nice little win for the Falcons. They run the ball very well. They know what they do best, and they have players. Mm-hmm. I don't know Desmond Ritter's the guy still. He had a better game. He did bounce back this week.
He bounced back. Good this game.
He bounced back this week, and if he plays like that, they could win some games because they have the talent there. They have London, who made a great catch on the sideline. He was a beast this game. Kyle Pitts had some action. They just have to do what they do best. Bijan
have to use everyone.
Yes.
They really have to spread the love.
And Desmond,
they can't just be too run heavy with Bijan Robinson. You got to really use all your talent that you got there because you got a lot of it.
And Ritter made some throws down the field, which is like, it seems like he's also a guy where like Howell, like good game, bad game, good game, bad game, inconsistent. But he's basically a rookie. He only started a few games last year.
He's pretty mobile too. He had himself a running touchdown as well.
He is mobile.
So he's not afraid to take that hit. He'll go at it.
He will. And I think I just needed more time on him. Usually, I think around Thanksgiving we'll be able to decide on some of these guys like Jordan Love, Sam Howell, Desmond Ridder. It's still too early. He wins some games, he loses some games. I think he's still undefeated. So he's undefeated in his career at home
yes.
in college and NFL, which is a pretty cool stat for him. Impressive. So good for him. Good for you, Desmond Ridder. Giants at Dolphins, and we were both right. Good thing you didn't pick the Giants in this. Devon Achane, man. I know he's hurt now, which sucks for me in fantasy. But dude, that guy what does he have at this point? What does he have? 13 yards per carry, something crazy. It's like 11 to 13 yards.
Completely outrageous.
It's basically like every time you're running, you're getting a first down. That's how do you stop that? So we thought they had the best passing game in the league. Now they also have the best running game in the league. They have the best offense in the league. So the Giants' offense, on the other hand, is still embarrassing. And
don't get me started.
It starts with the line. It always starts at the point of attack, line of scrimmage. Could they be in the Caleb Williams sweepstakes? I'll ask you that now.
Damn, put me on the spot there. No.
What? Okay. If they get the number one pick, would you pick Caleb Williams, or would you trade the pick?
Yes. Okay.
You would. Okay.
Yes. We would go all the way with it for sure. You can't pass up on
There's
that.
some people that argue to trade the pick.
I don't know if there's any quarterback that you would pass up over
Caleb. No. Other than Mahomes, Allen, maybe Burrow and Herbert. That's really it. Those four. That's it. So maybe Hurts, but
okay. Back to the game. 18 times we were sacked in 2 games. That's like historical. That hasn't happened since like the 1980s. It's just pathetic. I don't know if I want to put this on Daniel Jones, but there's just way too much pressure being applied.
This isn't just on Daniel Jones, but it seems like sometimes he holds on the ball a little too long, and he's not aware of like the pressure that's building up around him.
I get that.
It's everyone. It's the play calling.
That happens, but you have to have like some plays where you kind of could trust that you're going to be blocked and you can have a few more seconds. I get he takes too much time in the backfield, but
look, I'll tell you this.
I just don't like this line. It's just
you're missing your best lineman. You're missing your star tackle, which is huge. You're missing Andrew Thomas. What are you going to do at that point? And Barkley takes a lot of pressure off Daniel Jones. So you need him back. Is the season over? I think so, but I don't think you're going to be one of the worst teams. You could win 7 games if you like. I don't know what you guys are trying to go for here. I wouldn't tank. I mean, obviously they're not going to tank. But you guys can still win some games if you just get Waller involved more. They started to, but it's still not enough. Like I thought he was supposed to be this beast that was going to transform your offense. He hasn't been that yet.
So
I don't even think he has a touchdown yet.
It's kind of crazy because if we were actually doing what we had to do, we could have won this game because we stuck in it for a while.
You did.
It was like going into the third quarter, and we were still kind of in this game.
The pick six, I felt like was revenge for the week before. The pick six that was on you.
And so then we almost had another pick too. That could completely turn things around. But Daniel Jones just couldn't do it. We just could not do it on offense. There's no way. Our defense would just have to keep scoring, and that wasn't happening.
No.
Not against this team.
No. Can't put this on the defense either.
The way that things are wrapping up, we just need to get. Hopefully, we're probably going to end with a pretty bad record. I completely understand that, just get in some more linemen. Draft a good lineman in the draft, and just pray for the best next season. It's probably over this season.
Depends where you draft it. You draft in the top 10, I would draft a quarterback. If you don't, try to get a lineman, build around Daniel Jones. You're going to have him next year regardless, even if you do draft a quarterback because of the guaranteed money. Yeah.
Deal,
so after next year, you can get out of it easier. So you have one more year with him. Try to build the best you can around him. Maybe get a receiver.
I just feel bad for Barkley. Like, we're using his best years, and we're not good.
Well, here's the thing too. He kind of screws you because he's always hurt. So can you pay him? It kind of makes it goes hand in hand.
If it's worth.
He's so important that he's not there, but at the same time he's not there. So it's like a catch-22. It's like he's never there. He's never available, but you need him because when he's not available, it shows that you're desperate for him. So I don't want to get too much more into this. It was kind of like I keep saying blowout. It wasn't a blowout. It was a 2-score game. He's gonna get mad at me.
Like I said before, it could have been the Broncos losing by 50 points. We didn't lose by 50 points. We stayed in this game. It was a 2-point game at the end, so I'm not too disappointed. Panthers
at Lions. Look, we'll be quick with this. The Lions just this complete domination. And I just want to ask this because, the Lions have been playing consistently great, can run the football very well, great offensive line. Their defense has been very underrated and has played great.
Dan Campbell, man.
Now, I think Emmanuel Mosley is out for the season now, which kind of sucks for them, but they still have a lot of pieces on the defense. Aiden Hutchinson's been a stud. And I have to ask this. Because the Cowboys have struggled and the Lions have been good, and people kind of see the Cowboys as locked in as that 3rd seed, and the Lions locked in as the 4th seed. Could it be flipped? Who do you got? Lions or Cowboys they play? I got the Lions.
Like, if I were to see them versus each other, I think I would get the Lions.
I got the Lions. I think they're more consistently effective on offense, and the Cowboys are up and down, and they have a terrible red zone offense. The Lions have one of the best lines in the league, and they just keep performing. Like, and their play calling is great, which it isn't in Dallas.
And even with Amon-Ra St. Brown out, their key target, they were completely fine. Sam Laporta was doing his thing.
Dude's been a stud, man.
Absolutely.
He's been the best rookie tight end by far.
Yes. He's up there for he's up there for Rookie of the Year.
He could be. I mean, you got Stroud and you got Puka Nacua. So probably not gonna win Rookie of the Year, but he's been great. He's been great. And I think Josh Reynolds had a nice day too. And Montgomery is just, Montgomery's been crazy.
He's been a completely different player on that team.
He was good on the Bears, but not this good. And it's because of that line. And that's why Jared Goff could do whatever he wants back there, too, because of that line. And their D-line's great, too. When you have a great offensive line, you have a great D-line, you're usually a great team. Eagles, Niners. There you go.
I keep preaching the Lions, and I'm going to keep on preaching.
I'm hopping at that Lions train with you. You were on a little before me. I'm hopping on it now. Okay, so Packers at Raiders, last but not least, Monday Night Football. I'm still very unsure about Jordan Love, but he was missing David Bakhtiari, his left tackle, and he was missing Aaron Jones, star running back. So it's hard to see, and it's hard to tell, small sample size, from him so far. But he struggled again, and the Raiders don't have a great defense, so it's kind of Crosby did have a day. He did have a day, but other than that, what do you got? Marcus Peters still makes some plays sometimes, but their secondary is usually inconsistent. So Garoppolo did just enough to get the job done today. Both quarterbacks made some dumb interceptions. Jordan Love more so. That last drive, just throwing it up in the end zone when you had time, still dumb decision. But he's still effectively, we call him a rookie on the show. Effectively. What do you think about this game? I know you had a lot of opinions on Jordan Love. Are you still high on him?
I'm still high on him. This was a game where, you just weren't doing enough. Obviously, they were missing Aaron Jones, and obviously that's a key factor to this team. Because I've said this before, A.J. Dillon is not a good backup or not a good starting running back.
And, I mean, he's shown that lately, but like other seasons, especially like last year and the year before, when Aaron Jones would be out, he would fill in nicely. But this season, I think it has a lot to do with the offensive line too, because they have injuries, so it kind of makes sense. It's going hand in hand.
And they were a little more Aaron Rodgers reliant.
Yeah, exactly.
Aaron
Rodgers, Devontae Adams reliant. Yes,
but we saw this a lot towards the end. They just kept on running the ball. They
didn't trust
Jordan
Love. Yes.
And that was a big problem. It was very predictable. Like, first down, run the ball, get 2 or 3 yards. Second down, run the ball.
Sometimes on third down, run the ball too. If they were close enough.
I think give him a little more.
I think you hit the nail on the head there.
More leash there.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there. I don't know if they trusted him because he was making some boneheaded throws at times. He did make some nice plays. Sometimes he shows you that he could be effective. He's got a nice arm. You're kind of like, oh wow, that's a nice throw. But, he was kind of shaky in that game, so you saw them kind of reel him in a little bit. And I remember one time they were in the red zone. They were actually inside the 10. They ran it twice, and we were kind of like, okay, well, you can't run it. We both kind of looked at each other like, you can't run it again here. And then they ran it again. I think they happened to score.
Yeah. And then they had a field goal there.
So
they got to give him a little more trust. As a rookie quarterback, you got to let him do his thing. Let him make his mistakes. He'll learn from it.
And, obviously Max Crosby had himself a day. He's great there. What a story that is. We won't get into it. I think everyone knows the story about him with sobriety. So good for him, man. Good for him. And, Packers, are they a playoff team? Because they're up and down. They're also very up and down. They're kind of like, 1 week they're good, then they're not, then they're good, then they're not. And they had that one win against the Saints that they kind of got lucky when Derek Carr got hurt. Yeah. So are they a little overhyped? I mean, they are missing Aaron Jones, which is huge.
And then the Raiders, on the other hand, I didn't see enough from them either. From Josh Jacobs.
Oh, no. Josh Jacobs was a little better. A little bit. What about Devontae Adams?
Devontae Adams
Jacoby Myers is very underrated, though. Very underrated receiver.
Yeah. I don't know how Devontae Adams is going to take that, though. He's gonna pull a A.J. Brown, start cursing out.
He might because he gets a little. Jimmy G. He might because he's a good guy, obviously, but he gets a little emotional sometimes. Remember
he gets very emotional.
Was it the fan or the camera guy that he pushed to the floor last season? Do you remember that? I forgot about that.
That was a big no-no.
Yeah. So. Two shaky teams, but one less shaky team beat the more shaky team. I guess they're both shaky.
I think the Raiders are more shaky than anything.
I think so too because
they have it more together.
And the Packers have more of a foundation with coaching and GM.
And they're a younger team. The Raiders, I'm a little concerned about. I need to see more from them this game. And Jimmy G, he's good, but
I think he's getting worse and worse every year now. Every game. I mean, he always makes that dumb throw where you're like, what are you doing, man? But, he didn't cost them this game. The defense kind of held it together this game. Good job by the Raiders, but, So, okay, I went 6-8 this week, like I said. So now I'm up to 42-36. I'm 6 games over 500. This is my first week under 500, but I still stay over 500. And Dylan went 10-4. So now Dylan's 49-29. Dylan is 20 games over 500. And he's just, the last 3 weeks, what do you have, 11 wins, and 10 wins? You've been on fire. On fire.
49, the lucky number.
You've been good, man. I hate you. You've been good. No, dude, you've made some good picks, man. Like the Jaguars, Bills. I don't think anyone saw that one coming.
Listen, I completely saw that coming.
Well, yeah, that's why you made the pick.
No, I know. Well, I mean, look at it. The Jaguars are good.
They clearly that the offense definitely improved, and the Bills they have stinkers like that, and they went to London, and Jaguars have played there twice already.
A plus B doesn't always equal C, man.
Yeah, sometimes it equals F. So okay, so now we're gonna make our picks for next week, and starting with the Thursday night game, we got Broncos at Chiefs. Chiefs are obviously favorites in this one, Dylan. Who do you got? Chiefs or home?
So I think we're obviously both gonna pick the Chiefs here.
Yes,
but I was telling him before this could be a game where. I don't know, man. The Broncos, they come up out of nowhere. The Chiefs have been in games where they should have been blowing out the team.
Right.
And is this going to cost them? Are the Broncos going to come out of nowhere and just win this game?
I don't think they're going to win this game, but it could be closer than people think, like less than 10. I think that could happen because, one, is a divisional game. Those get weird. And two, I don't think the Chiefs' offense has been that explosive, even though the Broncos' defense has been terrible. The Chiefs' offense hasn't been that explosive, so the Broncos might be able to stay in this game because they usually start strong on offense.
And they do have some key on offense.
Yeah, so
I can really see them staying in this. And listen, don't call me crazy, but I could see them winning this game. And I'm not picking them, but don't.
You wouldn't be surprised.
This might be the upset of the week.
I would be a little surprised. I would be kind of surprised, not gonna lie, but that would be a huge win for them. So we'll see what happens.
And I was asking you before, are you going to be worried if the Broncos win this game?
Worried as in for the Chiefs?
Yes.
Yes. If the Broncos beat the Chiefs, I will be a little worried.
Team to watch out for.
But the only thing I'll be worried about is that they probably won't be a Super Bowl team. They'll make the playoffs, but maybe it's not their year. I mean, they're allowed to have that. They've won a bunch of Super Bowls already. Well, too.
Oh, they can. I'm just trying to figure out where they at.
I guess you're right in that sense. I think they're a top 5 team. I guess we'll find out after this week. I mean, if they blow out the Broncos.
If they blow them out, then kudos to them.
Yeah. So Ravens at Titans. Ravens are favorites on the road. I gotta go Ravens here. I think they bounced back this week. Lamar got a little frustrated after last week, and I think they come out firing on all cylinders. They run the ball effectively. I think the Titans are gonna struggle on offense. This Ravens defense is a little underrated, so I got the Ravens in this one.
I'm going the same way with you on that one. This could be another close game. Titans usually are good at staying in these games. They won in a few of them. There's not really much to take from it. I definitely get the Ravens winning this, but again, wouldn't be surprised if the Titans won too.
No, because the Titans usually tend to play good against these good teams.
Yeah, exactly.
So wouldn't be surprised at all. Panthers at Dolphins, and Dolphins are big favorites at home. I think 70-20, Dylan? No, I'm kidding. I don't think it'll be 70-20, but I think the Dolphins win convincingly.
Yes.
Right now, the number's 13.5 as of Tuesday, and I think I might take the 13.5 Dolphins there.
Yeah, exactly over that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Dolphins all the way. There's not much to go off of here. You got a rookie quarterback that hasn't been really showing much, so they don't really have much talent over there. What do you expect?
Saints at Texans. And this one's tough for me, Dylan. But I got to go Saints there because I feel like the Saints have been playing well lately. Even that game against the Packers, before Carr got hurt, they played well. They've been playing well with Derek Carr. So I think the Saints control this game. They got some pieces on offense. You know, they've struggled sometimes on offense, but they kind of got. I guess the Patriots was a get right game a little bit for them, and I think they take command over the Texans here. So I got the Saints in this one.
If you're going against your guys, C.J. Stroud,
I like him, but it's his first season, and I think the Saints have a more complete team.
Yeah, I'm going with you on that one as well. I'm taking the Saints as well. Saints just have so much talent. I just have at the same time, Alvin Kamara had himself a week. Can he keep that back going? Could he keep it going? I need to see more from Alvin Kamara. He had himself a week, but I do need to see more from him. He was very talented 2 years ago, and he really, he didn't have too much of a good year last year.
No, he didn't.
And, he's just starting to come back. I need to see more from him. I think... You have Chris Olave, which
I love. He's been making big catches every week.
Exactly. Rashid Shaheed.
And that defense is underrated. It's top 10 in my opinion, that defense. So, they have a solid team.
Yes. And so Saints definitely have a lot more pieces there
right now. The Texans are definitely promising. Yes, I think we agree on that. Commanders at Falcons. And this one's tough for me too because the Commanders are so up and down for me. And the Falcons are also so up and down. But I got to go with the Commanders. The Commanders had a bad week last week. So maybe this is their week to have a good week. And maybe Sam Howell, this is one of his good weeks because he's always good, bad. So now I might call him on a good week. I'm going to go Commanders here.
You're going with them again?
Yeah.
Even after the Bears?
Seems like every time I pick them, they screw me. The Bills, the Bears, they've screwed me a lot.
Well, I can't trust them. I'm going Falcons. I'm going Falcons by myself. The Falcons have been very... they have a lot of upside, Ritter has been doing his thing, he's everything you want to see in a quarterback. I know he's been kind of up and down, but I don't know. After they got kind of manhandled by the Bears, I can't see them playing this.
I know.
The Falcons have kind of been in every game. The Commanders have been blown out before. So I'm going with the Falcons here. Bijan Robinson, probably going to have himself a day.
I feel like the Commanders just have more of that wow factor where they can put up points when they're really clicking. And the Falcons are kind of like steady because they run the ball, but they don't have those like 30, 40-point games a lot. But I think the Commanders have one of these big offensive games, but I could be wrong. I mean, they've been so up and down that I don't even trust that anymore. And the Falcons are home, so you could be right on that one. There's a lot of tough games this week. It's like every game I was like... and this is another one, the divisional one, Colts at Jaguars. And I know on paper this sounds like, okay, Jaguars easily, but the Colts have played well. They beat the Ravens. They have been in every game. They almost beat the Rams. They beat the Ravens.
So this is another one, either Minshew, Richardson in, Richardson out, they're still going to win?
I got the Jaguars in this one.
Well, listen, I think, you got the Jaguars in this one?
Yes, but I wouldn't be surprised. This is a divisional one. The Colts have played well, so I wouldn't be surprised. But I got the Jaguars, yes. I just think they finally have clicked on offense. They finally put it together.
Yeah, I completely agree with you on that as well. They just got to keep it going, keep on hitting your targets, keep on getting everyone the ball.
And I like their front seven on defense. Exactly. It's been underrated. So
yes. Keep on using Travis Etienne. He's a beast. He will get you the yards you need. He had over 100 yards this week. So
and Ridley's been getting better.
Against the Bills, too.
I know.
Needless to say.
And... what is it called? Calvin Ridley. He's been getting better and better each week too. We talk about all the weapons all the time. Zay Jones came back, and they're full of weapons there. So I think they're gonna cruise in this game. The Colts will keep it close. They'll be within 10 because the Colts defense has been underrated. But I think the Jaguars have gotten right, and I think they're gonna win this game. So Seahawks at Bengals. This is probably the toughest one of the week for me. This might be the game of the week. And
Bengals keep it going.
I think the Bengals have found out their problems and they got it right. So I'm going to take Bengals in this one because I think the Seattle's defense is getting a little overrated now after that Giants game. Let's relax. It was the Giants. I still think they have some holes in the defense. I do like their secondary, but they're lacking a little bit in their defensive line, and I'm not crazy about their pass rush. Even though they going into that game against the Giants, they didn't have many sacks. That game inflated their sack rate. So we gotta remember it was the Giants.
And you gotta realize Jamal Adams, he was out that whole game.
Yeah.
So Jamal Adams is coming back now. So
is he playing this week? Is he cleared from concussion? Is he
yes.
cleared? Sometimes
I'm almost positive.
They need that because he actually adds to the pass rush.
So I think the Seahawks are winning this game, and yeah, it's going to be a real close one. But the Bengals have been disappointing me a lot, and the Seahawks have not. So just off of that, I'm going with the Seahawks.
Let's remember the Seahawks beat the Lions, who we're really high on. So
exactly.
But I just think
the Lions beat the Chiefs.
It just seems like every time I go, it seems like every pick I make with the Bengals is the wrong one. So I think this is finally the week where exactly. I think this is finally the week that Joe Burrow. They need this game because I think they play the Niners after this, the Bengals, and then I think after that
they need that momentum.
And I think they play the Bills after that, something like that. I could be wrong on that, but it's something like 2 really hard games after this. So they need this win if they want to stay in this playoff hunt. So I think they got it right last week. Joe Burrow looked fresh and he looked healthy. And I think he keeps it up. This Seattle defense isn't terrible, but it's not that great. So I got the Bengals in this one. You got Seahawks. Vikings at Bears. This one's tough too because the Vikings. I'm going to go Bears just because of the Justin Jefferson injury. Kirk Cousins doesn't have, he's got Jordan Addison who's pretty good. He's got KJ Osborne, but Justin Jefferson adds a lot to that offense. He's got Hawkinson too, but their defense is terrible, and I think the Bears' offense has figured out get the ball to DJ Moore. So that's what they're going to do.
I don't think Justin Jefferson was their saving grace. They still.
Well, they lost with him. They lost with him. So
yeah. Exactly.
They're going to lose without him.
They kept it in within a 7-point game with the Chiefs. The Bears have not been impressive at all. They had an impressive run against the Commanders, but the Bears always let us down. So I can't see.
I know.
The Vikings are a little more consistent.
On offense they probably are. Yeah.
I think Jordan Addison is going to have himself a day.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Without Justin Jefferson in, I think he's going to be going off.
I just think this Vikings defense is going to get torched by DJ Moore. I'm very high on DJ Moore now. Love me some DJ Moore right now. I got Bears. DJ Moore, another big game.
I think DJ Moore is going to have a good game, but
this is going to go either way.
Keep up.
I don't disagree with that. It's going to be close for sure. It's a battle of 2 bad teams there. 49ers at Browns. I think the Browns defense is better.
You think the Browns defense could hold them? At all?
No, but maybe a little bit, maybe 25 points, but I don't think their offense is going to score enough.
I'm kind of interested to see what the Bears defense does here against this all-star offense. What are they going to be able to do?
I don't know.
This is going to be their real test.
And I don't know. I'm not sure as of right now if Watson's playing, if he's back. They did what was it? Dorian Thompson Robinson. He had a bad week. DTR. He had a bad week. He didn't have a good week. He just got drafted and he didn't play well. But I think they just had a bye week, the Browns. Mm-hmm. So maybe Deshaun Watson gets that rest. He comes back. But I got the Niners in this one. I mean, look, they're gonna outclass the Browns.
Yeah, there's no question in this. Like we were talking about it before. I think 49ers are going the whole way and going undefeated.
I might be right there with you, man. We might have to put a bet on that or something.
I really got to look at their schedule. I don't know. Even I couldn't tell you a team that would beat them.
Maybe next week if they win, we do just one segment where we go through their schedule and see if they're going to be undefeated. I think that'd be interesting for the audience. So maybe we do that. So Patriots at Raiders. This is by process of elimination here. I think the Patriots are worse than the Raiders, so I'm going to go with Raiders just because the Patriots have looked so bad on offense. I can't see them scoring. I can't.
Yeah, even if their defense does stop them.
Which they lost their 2 best defensive players last week. So are they going to stop him? It's just I'm not.
Probably not.
I know this is a battle of the 2 coaches that used to be on the same team. McDaniels being a Belichick disciple. Mm-hmm. But I just look talent wise. Give me the Raiders all day in this one. Just don't make too many mistakes. Don't make too many mistakes, Garoppolo. Give the ball to Josh Jacobs a little bit. Let him run the ball a little bit, and get Devontae Adams the ball some more. I know Jacoby Myers has been a great find by you guys, but Devontae Adams is your main weapon, and
they've been using a lot of their tight ends too.
Yeah, they have, and I just
Yeah, don't piss off that guy you just got.
Yeah, exactly.
you gotta keep him happy.
So Lions at Bucks.
Well, I'm getting Raiders on that as well.
Okay. So Lions at Bucks, and Bucks had a bye week, so we didn't see him play. I'm high on the Lions. I'm gonna go Lions here. I think it's
really.
Close.
I thought you were high on the Bucks.
Yeah, but the Lions are a better team. Come on, the Lions have the better offense.
Trust Baker?
No, I don't
trust Baker.
I don't trust Baker. I trust. Yeah. What I do trust is this Lions offensive line. I think they're gonna control the line of scrimmage, even though Tampa's defense isn't bad.
The Bucks are good. I don't even know if Michael Evans is playing or not, but regardless of the matter, Lions are winning this.
Yeah, I agree.
Bucks might keep it close, but the Lions have just been in all these games, and
Lions just have studs everywhere. So the Lions are just the better team. So
we've always been high on the Lions.
So
we're keeping that going.
Cardinals at Rams, and this is a divisional one. Maybe the Cardinals make it interesting, but I think the Rams got this one. The Rams have shown that they're well coached. They got weapons on offense. They got Cooper Kupp back. The defense looks young and fast. Rams all the way. I think Cardinals might keep it close, but Rams are the better team. Let's be honest.
Yeah. You got to get Caleb Williams. You got to lose, man.
Exactly. Eagles at Jets, and Eagles. The Jets have never beaten the Eagles in the history of their franchise. The only team that the Jets have never beaten is the Eagles.
Crazy. Just the fact that Patrick Mahomes beat every team, and that not even the Jets have beat every team.
I will say, right now on Tuesday, the line's Eagle -7. Watch out. The Jets could keep this within one score. They could, but the Eagles are going to win.
And they kept the Chiefs game close, so let's see what they can do against the Eagles.
Let's be honest. Even with Aaron Rodgers, the Eagles have a better team than the Jets. So the Eagles probably would have won this. I had the Eagles winning this with Rodgers. The Eagles are definitely going to win this without Rodgers. As simple as that. So Eagles go to 6-0 in my book.
Eagles as well.
Giants at Bills. Sunday Night Football. This is going to be rough for you, man. Sunday Night Football against Buffalo. It's going to be tough.
Why do we get all the prime?
I know, man. It's going to be tough, and Buffalo's going to win that one.
Yeah, and I don't know if Daniel Jones is playing or not because he went out with a neck injury.
Yeah, he did.
So maybe I don't know. Tyrod Taylor
against his former team. Yeah, maybe he shows you something. So
I don't know, man. I
Buffalo
got nothing to say
has
about this game.
Buffalo has that Mike Tyson knockout quality against inferior teams. So if you get down early, it's going to be another 40-0 game. So be careful here.
That's been all of our games so far. So
wouldn't be surprised, right?
Yep.
It's okay, man. I'm right there with you with my Jets. All right, so Cowboys and Chargers, Monday Night Football.
This one's going to be very interesting.
This is probably the game of the week. The Cowboys are slight favorites on the road as of right now. And look, I still think the Cowboys are a really good team, but they show that they choke against teams just as good or better.
But Chargers are the choke artists.
That is true. That is true. And I don't trust the Chargers coach. I don't necessarily trust the Cowboys coach. But I like Justin Herbert more than Dak Prescott, so give me the Chargers here.
I'm going the same way with you, man.
Hopefully they get Eckler back. So
yeah, hopefully. Even without him, they're just fine.
Kelly's been a fine running back for them.
For sure.
So
and him just being a running quarterback himself.
This is going to come down to which head coach blows this game for them, because is it going to be Brandon Staley with another stupid fourth down going for, or is it going to be Mike McCarthy with a dumb fourth down call, running the ball too many times, or
Dak Prescott just throwing
stupid interceptions? So I got the Chargers in this. I just think they have the better offense for sure.
They have the better team for sure. I agree with that.
Now the Cowboys might have the better defense, but I think the Chargers have the better offense.
Offense-wise, Chargers are loaded.
And the Chargers, mind you, took their offensive coordinator, Kellen Moore, now. So now Kellen Moore, probably knows that. Well, it's going to be a little bit of a different offense, but Kellen Moore is going to outsmart Mike McCarthy any day of the week. So give me the Chargers on this one. All right, so we will go to our Thursday Night Football parlay pick. So first we will go over what happened last week, and I had a rough week, but once again, you've been great with these picks. Your team, your game picks, and your parlay picks. Dylan hit on his 4-leg parlay. We will start with him. He gets Justin Fields over 193.5 passing yards. Check. Bears plus 7.5. Check. DJ Moore over 49.5 receiving yards. Check. Cole Kmet over 30.5 receiving yards. Check. If you went with Dylan's parlay, you won your parlay. Congratulations. Don't tell us we don't know how to bet. He just won right in front of our eyes. Great job, Dylan. As far as me, I can't bet. We should put a disclaimer. This guy doesn't know what he's talking about. Don't listen to him. I'm just kidding. But I haven't been good so far. I went Commanders over 42.5. I got that one. I went Commanders minus 3.5. Missed that one hard. Sam Howell over a touchdown and a half. I got that one. Brian Robinson anytime touchdown score. I missed on that one. So I
like that one.
So I went 2 for 4. Dylan went 4 for 4 and hit on this parlay. So congratulations, Dylan.
If you won, go grab yourself a 4 for 4.
Have a nice little drink. So I'll let you start since you won. So you give yours.
Let's go. Let's do it.
We got Broncos at Chiefs.
Broncos at Chiefs. This is a hard one. I really couldn't find a certain parlay that I like.
A lot of iffy offensive players in this game. Yeah.
So the first one I'm doing Broncos plus 10.5. Now, I was saying this before. The Chiefs have not been able to blow a team out, and I don't think they're going to do it here either. 10.5. That's a touchdown and a field goal. They'll be able to keep it within that. Broncos aren't that disappointing. Besides that Miami game. Patrick Mahomes, 3+ passing touchdowns. Now, Tua was able to get 4 passing touchdowns against them. So, let's see it.
Good
Patrick
point.
Mahomes, let's see you work your magic. Then I have Jerick McKinnon's over 14.5 receiving yards. He's done this 3 out of the 5 games that he's played. I think Patrick Surtain is going to shut down Travis Kelce, so he's going to have to go to some of his other targets. Jerick McKinnon's, I think he's going to be the man. I have Courtland Sutton over 3.5 receptions. He had a pretty crappy week against the Jets. I think they're going to be feeding him the ball more. So that's my parlay.
Okay, so mine. I got Courtland Sutton, 40+ receiving yards. He had a rough week against the Jets last week. He's going to bounce back this week. The Chiefs secondary, it's okay. A little young, nothing special. And I think Sutton's become Russell Wilson's number 1 guy. I think 40+ receiving yards should be nothing for him in this game, especially since it's a tough divisional game, and you might be playing catch-up at getting down early and having to play catch-up with the rest of the game, throw the ball a lot. So now I have over 44.5 total points. Broncos defense is terrible. Yeah. Chiefs defense is good, but not great. So I could see both these teams going back and forth. What I really see happening is the Chiefs jumping out to an early lead and the Broncos playing catch up the whole game. I see it as a high scoring game, maybe like 35-20. So definitely 44.5 is a low number in my opinion in that regard. So Travis Kelce, anytime touchdown scorer. Look, he finds a way to get open. He finds a way to get in the end zone. You play zone on him, he finds a soft spot. You play man on him, it's a mismatch. I think a touchdown for Travis Kelce, he can get that in his sleep. As long as this injury isn't serious, I think he can get in the end zone this week. Broncos plus 14.5. Like you, I think it's going to be a close game, and they should definitely keep it within 2 touchdowns. So it's a divisional game. I think the Broncos are going to be desperate. They're 1-4. They want to keep their playoff hopes alive. And like you said, the Chiefs have been in every single game, like basically a 1-score game in every single game. Mm-hmm. So to keep it within 2 scores, I think it's very reasonable here. Now, I know Denver, they get blown out by 50 against Miami. But
you don't want that repeat.
But other than that, they've been in every single game. It was a 1-point game against the Raiders. I think against the Commanders, it was like a 4 or 5 point game. Against the Jets, it was a 10-point game. So usually they stay within the game. So I think they'll stay in the game here. 14.5 should be nothing. So they stay within that. So I have Courtland Sutton, 40+ receiving yards, over 44.5 total points. Kelce, anytime touchdown scorer, and Broncos plus 14.5.
I have Broncos plus 10.5. Patrick Mahomes, 3+ passing touchdowns. Jerick McKinnon's over 14.5 receiving yards, and Courtland Sutton over 3.5 receptions.
Okay, Dylan, we are done. Now, we have eclipsed 20 episodes. This is episode 21.
Ooh, happy 20.
Yeah, we forgot to say it last episode. But, 20 episodes feels like nothing, but that's 20 weeks. That's pretty long. So, Dylan, we've been pretty consistent with this.
Very consistent.
Keep subscribing, and sharing. Guys, we love the support. This has been tough for us. We got lives, we got work, we got, relationships, and we've been making it work. So we've been putting a lot of work into this. So just keep supporting us. It goes a long way. Thanks, Dylan. See you guys next week.